So, hi guys, a very good afternoon. I'm Jashin Kapani. Good morning to many of you. I'm Jashin Kapani. I'm the founder and CEO of I'm Decor Design. We're in the business of designing and manufacturing home and office decor and interior solutions. And I'm the brainwave, the brainchild behind the interior solution, decor accessories, and stuff that you see on our social media page and in our catalogs and stuff. And having said that, I'm kind of now wanting to share a few thoughts on stepping out of a comfort zone, because it's summers and most of us are forced to be indoors. We're not wanting to go out. The sleep regime has got messed up for a lot of them. I mean, I was meeting up with some friends in my building and at the gym and stuff. So sleeping pattern has got a little it's got a little affected. So people who are early sleepers are sleeping late and vice versa and stuff. And it got me thinking about the comfort zone because we are so used to being in a regimented or a disciplined, state of life or work and stuff that whenever there's a change happening, you start questioning yourself or people are going to put it in your head that there's something wrong with you and stuff like that. Okay. So this is a good read. It's this book called The Ikigai, and by now many of you know I follow Buddhism as well, so it's about being flexible and stuff and being determined at the same time. But this is talking about the short getaways from your comfort zone. So imagine that you're going to be setting off on a great adventure. So what do you do? I mean, do you stay do you kind of follow the same logic or rational, or sleeping at the same time, waking up at the same time, dressing up the same manner, looking the same? Do you kind of eat the same clothes when you go on an adventure? Do you take the same route? Do you talk to the same people? Do you do the same stuff? So, what do you do when you go to a holiday? Let's say if you go to the hills or whatever, if you were at the beach, or if you're going to be probably at um, I mean, whatever place, are you going to follow that? No. So this is what it is talking about. It's talking about living in a city life, kind of doing something which is a little out and away from your comfort zone, which is like a mountaineer or someone who trains in the nearby mountains and stuff like that. So we are so used to being in the office and starting our work on time, ending our work on time. We're used to the Zoom calls. We're used to kind of having those phone calls and stuff like that. That any alteration or any change to that kind of puts a big question in how you're feeling and stuff like that. Okay, so this is what the book is addressing. So it's talking about ways to kind of avoid complacency and to stay active and how to stay invigorated. So first is to change the route. I think I shared this before also, and I keep suggesting to a lot of people that a great idea would be to not follow GPRS and to change your route on how you kind of go. Let's say if you have an office on a certain route, you do not have to follow that route. If you go to the mall, usually you don't have to go to the mall. Do something new. If you've been on the same route by metro, take a different route. If you've been to the art gallery or to the theater, do the same. Do you follow the same stuff? Do something different, because it's very important to see that your mind is not in a compartment and you're not kind of a slave to the kind of lifestyle you've been living in stuff. So this is what they're talking about. He's saying change the way you get there. If you usually go by public transport, try go biking, even walking, and try and observe the sights you see on the way. So a lot of people I see that the moment they sit in their car, or they sit in the metro, they forget to observe things around. And it was not a very pleasant sight to be in the metro a few days back. I think 80% or 85% of the people were on their phones and stuff, and it was really shocking. I was like, you could rather read a book or look out of the window, do some photography, or do something else, like talk to people around and notice the fashion or whatever. So, anyways, coming to the next one, she's talking about reading a book by an unknown author. It's so easy to kind of get glued into people who are marketing and promoting their books and stuff. People we don't even know, and sometimes the book just reaches us indirectly. And there are authors like Mr. Ruskin Bond, or there are bigger authors around the world. You could kind of lay your hands on those books and you could read those books. Like you have these books on marketing, or on fiction, or you have drama, or you have probably coaching, or some light read and stuff like that. Lay your hands on such books because it helps, and that's going to kind of also help you do away with some preconceived notions about how places are, people are. I mean, I remember meeting Mr. Ruskin Bond a few years back at Taj, and it was such a great greet and meet and a great greet and meet, and he had signed this book for me. I think I have it here somewhere. And I read this book, and it took me to the hill stations and stuff, so this is the one, and it's got this signature of his, here. And I remember having that heart to heart chat with him, and he asking me for his pen, and he's such a positive person and stuff, you wanted to spend time around him. Reading his book kind of connected you to the way the world is, the hill stations are, how Dalhousie is, and other places are and stuff. So even if you were not there, or even if you were sucked into technology or other people's drama, online or offline, if you read that book, it kind of opens up the window of your imaginations, and you start looking at better stuff. And for creative people, like I was talking to a friend of mine who's also into the creative world, a lot of stuff is stored in the form of pictures or images or photographs, because we've clicked so many of those, we've uploaded and shared so many of those, so those memories, also those flashes of images and photos happen to many of us. I mean, I know musicians, and I know, theater people, I know authors, and I know, I mean, why go far? I mean, if you were to kind of sit and think about your childhood, you will remember certain photos, and the moment you look at a photo, you'll remember that what is it that the memory was, and what is it you were doing and stuff, and it takes a book to kind of also calm you down, or kind of give you a new perspective. If you're going to be talking about the same stuff, it can get a little monotonous and boring. So when you're reading a new book, you're kind of having a new exposure, a new topic of discussion. And let me be very honest with you, a lot of people talk about books, especially boys. I've seen in my own experience, they start talking to you about books and stuff like that because they want to kind of hit it off. They've read it somewhere on social media that the best way to kind of have interaction with anybody or to get to know anybody is to start talking about a book. You might as well join a book clubs and stuff, because this is the cheesiest or the sleaziest way to kind of even strike off a conversation and stuff, unless of course you're a serious reader and you have a thought share happening and stuff like that. But this is what people are picking up. People do this. Anyways, back to the point. So scroll through the neighborhood where you've never been. So, stroll, not scroll, stroll. So this is something which I also kind of follow on a non-work day, or when you have a lot of work and your mind is closed. Like if I'm working on the computer, or if I'm kind of affected by the heat, or if I've got a pain in my neck or whatever, I just take a walk in my park or in my neighborhood, and I just kind of feel rejuvenated. I look at the plants, I'll take a look at the dogs or whatever, I'll talk to my neighbors, I'll just look at the cats, click some pictures, look at the plants, soak up some nice, beautiful nature and stuff, and you come back feeling totally rejuvenated and recharged. And then you don't want to kind of follow TV or be in a room, because that's what nature is all about. And as social animals, when we didn't have TV and we didn't have WhatsApp or too much of information happening, this is what most of us did. I mean, I remember in my childhood, or otherwise, we used to sit in the park with our grandparents. We still do it with our elders many a times. So all that catching up with your family and friends helps a lot. It kind of helps you bond more. You make new friends when you're offline and stuff. Of course, online helps you kind of connect and stuff, but an offline connection helps any which ways, because it's easier to kind of connect and share the energy and stuff. And you make, like I said, new friends in the neighborhood. They may be dog lovers, they may be plant lovers, they may be maintaining the pool, they may be just kind of sitting there having a conversation with their children and stuff. So all of that helps bonding. Learn something new, very important. I keep repeating, I won't say harping, but I keep sharing that. Learn something new, maybe cooking, maybe calligraphy, maybe drawing, maybe photography, maybe collection of music, maybe collecting books, maybe just art, or maybe just kind of tidying up or cleaning up, kind of hand painting, writing, or whatever, something which kind of gives you new energy and create a long-term feel good rejuvenation in you. And then lastly, overhaul your friendships, particularly if you put 4 into practice. Open the new doors to relationships and stuff. That's called transformation. We feel stuck, we feel judged. People wonder around us that how are we kind of moving from old friendships to new one without really knowing the real stories of stuff. But the point is this, that's life. I mean, you make new friends, you leave behind old friends, and those who are supposed to catch up with you will catch up. WhatsApp or social media makes life a lot easier. If I were to tag a friend of mine and pick up a phone and have a conversation with him or her, if we are in good terms, they're going to reconnect and stuff. And sadly, there are episodes or fallouts which happen in all lives and all relationships, be it work, be it marriage, be it at school, be in college, wherever. So there is no big deal. People try and talk a lot about it. Oh my God, she has fallen apart and they've had a break off or whatever. And it's not like it doesn't happen to people or it's never happened to them that two friends stop talking or whatever. So then they're talking about this kind of finding new places and renewing new topics of conversation. If you're going to sit around here on the computer and you're not going to go out, you can't blame anybody. And of course, your work also puts you onto a lot of people. But if you have no friends, just take a walk in a place like a Khan Market, or take a walk in a place like CP, take a walk in the mall. And the moment you open up and you start talking to people, you strike a conversation and you have a new relationship happening. So this whole idea of I'm not able to make friends, I'm lonely, I'm shy, I'm introverted, I'm flossom, it's not easy for me. It's very easy for you to say that friends are easy to find. It's all bullshit, because if you have to make new friends and colleagues and stuff, there may be other people looking at that as well. And I have made so many new friends of different stages. I mean, the oldest of my friends are in their 80s, and the lowest or the youngest of my friends are like 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds, and I have people of all age groups and stuff. So there is no hard and fast rule, to be friends and stuff. So if you try all of this and you kind of step away of your comfort zone, it's going to help you big time, energize your energy. It's going to help you feel good and great. And of course, you're going to have a diversity or an expansive life, which is actually the purpose of life and stuff, because we feel that we are just used to those few people and few environments and stuff, and that's the way life is. But the point is, it's not like that, and you never know where you find what. You're playing a sport, you're in a gym, you're in a music studio, you're drumming, you're in a fashion shop or whatever. You make so many new friends and relationships and stuff, and you have a blast and you enjoy yourself. And believe me, people are looking to have connections and relationships and stuff. It's only some of them who are plotting and kind of scheming in those. So good luck to those. Karma goes back, or what goes around always comes back, is the logic. So stay to your true self, create a good atmosphere for yourself, choose good and healthy relationships.